show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Welcome back, Clooney Garage fans, it's Fred here. Well, we've got a bit of a build series on the VF 1000 horsepower Redline Commodore race car. So this car's been in the build since about 2016, and whilst we've documented the dyno and the shakedown run at Featherwood Circuit, we haven't done any videos on an in-depth review of all the mods that we've done. So we've got a three-part video series coming up. This is episode number 1. We're going to take you through all through the interior, top to bottom, front to back. Episode number 2, we'll look at the engine and the dyno results, the amount of mods that have been done to Clooney and this wild combination here. And number 3, we'll take you through all the suspension, brakes and other mods as well, including the diff. And then that way you'll see everything that we've done to this race car, and maybe one day you can get your Redline to sound like this thing too. Alright, so in our video today, as I mentioned, we're going to feature our 2015 VF Series 1 Redline, and I bought this car brand new. So for those of you viewers who have not seen the car before, this was my daily driver for about 3 years, and then I took it off the road. But it started life off as an L77 6-speed manual, and a really cool, pretty tidy example, just quietly. Only had a few little incidents that weren't really my fault, but due to some car park action around Canberra. But yeah, basically how it sits now on the exterior is exactly how it was presented when it was brand new. So she's pretty clean, but yeah, things took a turn for the modest gods when we start talking about what's been happening here. So I've got a bit of help here with some lights, and let's get it stuck in. We'll start on the passenger side first and get into it. Okay, so first mod that you'll notice is that there are no door trims left. They come with some beautiful suede Alcantara type material on the inside of these doors, and that is gone. So we've gone with some flexi plastic, and yeah, so we've got our aftermarket sort of door pulls, and we've taken all the weight out of the doors with all the electric windows and all that sort of stuff too. Still running factory glass, and yeah, so that's the start of the mods here. As we go into the car, you'll notice no carpet. All that's been removed, and all the sound deadening is gone as well. We do have some fire suppression just here on the passenger side. And then if you keep going up here, you'll notice we've got our dimple dyed aluminium floor plates as well. So I've got them both on the front and the driver's side and the passenger side. And then the mods continue as we go into our AGI roll cage. Now the interesting thing about our roll cage is that we've actually had to get this, even though it comes from a VF Redline, we've actually had to get it modified. So I'll show you up here. It follows the contour of the roof, and our modification starts back there. So we'll do that when we go into the passenger side and the rear. But basically, we found that it didn't fit right into the back where it should, with under the filler plates there, and it was actually too short, so we had to actually get an extender put in. So we'll show you that, and we've got our floor extended over there as well, which will show you. Probably see a little bit there on the joiners we've had to put in, but our fabricator has all done that professionally, and that matches the interior of the car. So very rare then to run a full dash assembly. So it's got the original VF Redline dash, albeit no info entertainment anymore, no glove box, and you go straight through to the firewall there, and we'll patch all those holes here, and all our air conditioning and ducting and fans and all that has been removed. So those of you that know Commodores, that is all where the air conditioning and controls and CD and radio and all that sort of sits. That's all been deleted. Our next mod is our short shifter from GM Motorsports. We've retained that, and we've got the factory gear knob as well with our 6-speed Redline shifter. And then we'll take you into the back. Again, no carpet. No back seat delete. And just giving you a bit of time, as you can see all the work that's been done back here. Probably the piece de resistance is the all aluminium fabbed professional parcel tray, parcel shelf, blacked off all into the boot, and our AGI roll cage. And that gives you a much better look at sort of what we've had to do there with the welds, and had to get that extended to get it to fit properly. Again, we've got our door trims deleted on this side, and no window adjustments on this side. boot will take you and show you in a minute. And behind the driver is where things start to get a bit more interesting. So we've obviously got a bit of rest of our roll cage in, our eyelets for our 6-point cage. You can see that extension there. And on this side, door trim's been deleted, and we'll get stuck into the main driver's side. So it's a pretty cool view when you're behind the wheel of this thing here. Have a listen to this. Alright, continuing with our mods, again, no door trim on this side. We do have a door trim, door puller, and our fabricator has mounted all our window devices here, obviously only the front and the rear, our mirror, our floor plate continues. We've retained the factory VF Redline pedal kit. We installed a dead man's pedal over there. And then we've got our Sparco circuit race seat, Sabelt 6-point harness system, and you'll see the first of our netting. So we've got our OMP netting on the side there, and we've got one on the driver's on the window here that I'll put up in a second so you can see how it works. Alright, then we've got the driver's side velo netting on this side and OMP on the other. And for those of you that want to fit one of these to your Commodores, it's about halfway down the A-pillar on that side and right up the top here for the other bracket to go in. And you just get them from your local speed shop. So let's have a look at the rest of the interior. This is what it looks sitting behind the wheel of a 1,000 horsepower track car. So you've got our OMP suede steering wheel, a little aluminium boss kit that you can pick up as well. Now the beautiful thing about this car and what Gentek have done is that with all the modern computers that these things run, disconnecting things like airbags and taking things out means that you get a lot of error messages and a lot of issues with getting the CAN bus and everything to work. All the dials, all the gauges, everything works. So that is pretty cool. Obviously not for the stuff that we've removed, but everything else does. Now I haven't tried the parking assist button anymore, but it's there anyway because it came in that sensor housing, and you got to have this stuff connected so the poor old CAN bus doesn't freak out. This is a center console that the fabricator has made for us, so it houses the handbrake button, a battery isolator switch, somewhere to put the key, which is pretty cool. So it just drops in there and doesn't rattle around. So it goes quite snug down there. And then, as I mentioned, it's got that's the original VF button cluster for those other features, and rather than have it dangling here, the fabricator's made a nice little panel there. So that's getting close to being it. Like, as you can see, it's still pretty factory inside in here. Not side curtain airbags have been deleted, still got the factory rear vision mirror, still got the factory sunroof, that's still in, and Frankie always talks about that weight being in the wrong part of the car. And then when you look back, she looks like a race car. Oh yeah. So plans for the rest of the interior for this car are pretty modest, really. Like, we've pretty much gone as far as we want to on the interior, and now it's just driving it. So, and given the shakedown and nothing happened and nothing fell off, it's pretty reliable and it goes good. So you're probably wondering, with all this weight reduction, what weight is Clooney now sitting at? And the answer is, she's not too far off a V8 supercar. We had it weighed after all the weight reduction and all the stuff that were pulled out. And it's now a shade over 1,600 kilos with a driver inside. So that's not bad, given the fact that I think these were about 1,800 plus when they came out. So she's a lightweight. Even though it's got some bar work and stuff in it, a lot of the stuff has been taken out. So that is pretty cool. Alright, so thanks for watching this latest episode and this latest video in the build series on Clooney, the race car. And we're going to be hitting up to Sydney Motorsport Park very soon. We're going to take the ute up first, and then we'll take this bad girl up. But before then, we're going to show you all the other videos. As I mentioned, the engine video and the suspension, brakes and all the other mods that we've done. So on that note, don't do it for Dale, do it for Yoda. Catch you later.